Alright, so I'm just gonna now make some of these masks for not spreading germs. So this is not really necessarily a coronavirus mask. This is really just a mask that you can wear if you have symptoms and you want to protect other people when you go to the outer area, and this probably will protect you as well to a certain degree. It is a good idea to do your own research about these masks because there's a few different kinds of information out there. So what I'm gonna use today, just to make them a little better, is I'm gonna use just usual, like just a normal cotton. I've got a few different colors here, and then I'm gonna put some fleece inside, so that will just make it work a little better, but you can still breathe through the mask. So I went through this earlier in another video I made of how to make guinea pig, some guinea pig tints, so how you cut the fabric. So when you get the fabric edge here, the straight edge, you will need to sort of like put your pieces on straight. So meaning the straight, there's usually a line like that that will indicate for you what way you want this fabric to be like knitted when it's been done originally. So in this case I'm putting it this way, so it's just important not to put it like slightly on angle. That's the most important part, so we just do it that way. And I'm just gonna cut the pieces out. Alright, so now I've basically done all the cutting. So as I said, I'm gonna make 4 of them. You might only be making 1 or 2 or 3, but maybe only for yourself. So I'm making a couple of different sizes as well. So next part, what I'll be doing is I'm gonna be making, because I was using same patterns for each of these pieces. So here I'm going to be cutting the inserts a little bit smaller. So there's a reason for this. I'm just gonna go like that. Go either 2 at a time or 1 at a time. Just depends how confident you are with your scissors. Okay. Let's make that one a little smaller as well. Just like that, okay? I'll do the rest now. Okay, so I've done all those. So what I'm gonna do now is I'll be sewing just this this curved part together like that, and then I will be attaching these ones to it with just a simple stitch. I will show you how I do that. So I've made one of these masks now with the fleece insert there, so it becomes nice and kind of fluffy, and it still breathes nicely through it. It's actually a little bit tricky to make, but I'm gonna show you how to do it. So you don't, so if you want the easier option, just leave the fleece out. So here's the first one I made without the fleece, and it's just probably not as safe, but it still works and it is a lot easier to make. So how we're gonna start here first is I'm gonna, so this is the front material when you have a look at the patterns. The front piece is where the bigger ones, so I'm just gonna start with them. And I'm just gonna sew this bit, okay? Like this, and I'm just gonna iron the seam out. All right, this is where the tricky part comes. So I'm gonna just do a stitching here so that these seams will stay open, but with the stitching I'm gonna insert this piece of fleece inside it, okay? And that I will just put under that seam like that, okay? And the stitching is supposed to go over the top of that so that the stitching will hold the fleece in place. And if that seems like it's a little too tricky, you can maybe just make it an easier way, figure out something a little easier. Maybe you can just stick it there and stitch it around if you don't mind about the look so much. But doing it this way, it makes it look really nice and professional, but it's a little bit tricky to do. Anyway, I'm gonna give it a go. Now it looks like this on the inside. So this fleece is nicely tucked under there, and on the outside it looks nice and neat. Alright, so next I'm just gonna do the other side, and this we can start the same way, attaching the edges, these ones here. And alright, I'll just do this first. Okay, and now we do the same here, so I'm just gonna stitch the seams open just like I did with the other ones, but this time I'm not putting the fleece in. So this will be the similar situation if you leave the fleece out, so you just do the both sides this way. So just starting here, opening the seams. You can either iron them open or don't worry about the ironing if you feel like you don't need the ironing. Or even if you find that stitching this part open is just too hard in general, don't worry about doing it, it'll still work just fine. As you see, it is a bit of work. Just a little bit fiddly chop, because you need to keep opening them, and because it is curved, this area, it makes it a bit tricky. Okay, like this, and then we'll just do the other side the same way. Okay, both sides are done. Now, next we want to attach these against each other. So the right sides against each other, like always. And what we're gonna do now is we're gonna sew the top and the bottom, and then I'll show you what we do after that's done. Good, and now next part is here where you have this one coming with that other material, these two materials. So this material is supposed to be shorter, and now if you remember, it's a good idea if you don't actually start from the very edge of the white materials, leave it just a half a centimeter out. But anyway, what we're doing here is now I'm gonna fold the edge and stitch it just from where the white material is attached to the end. So we stitch that maybe with a zigzag. Like this. All right, so if I see you show you the mask, just the edges, all these ends the same way, 4 of them. All right. Alright, so we've done those ones now, and the next part is you know how we're gonna turn this around now, right now, but this a little bit of a curve, so we're going to be cutting like that. So now when you turn it around, it'll be nice and smooth. All right, so just do all the curvy edges, and I will attach the pattern. Some lovely person has put up these PDF patterns up online for people to use, and I really like the patterns myself, and they were easy to print and everything, so I will put that link with this video. All right, so you can use the same pattern that I'm using. Also on the bottom I would do a little bit like that, just like that. All right, so now we're going to turn it around. Magic! Okay, and now you'll find out why we did those edges, because we're gonna fold this one. All right, that's, you can kind of see what I'm doing here. So I'm just gonna fold this. That's another little bit tricky area. So there's a few very fiddly bits making these masks. So it's not really, maybe it's not that easy to do, but maybe with the practice. So I've just folded it like that. So I folded that colorful part inside, and then there's a little hole. So that's creating the area where you can put the the elastic going through, okay? So this is how we're making that, all right? And I'm just simply gonna stitch it, and then next after that I'll do the both sides this way. Just go over the video again if that didn't make sense the first time I did it. But anyway, so, and then I will be stitching around here and do the other side. So this side first, then this other side, and then I'm gonna stitch the top and bottom. Okay. All right, so this mask now is off then. All those ones looking like this, all right? So it's maybe a little bit of work, but you can probably simplify some parts if some of this was too difficult. This is my own one that I've made for myself. Yeah, so you can probably just simplify it a little bit if you feel like it. And now you can wear your mask when you go out in a public if you want to keep others safe in case you carry a virus of some kind, but also that might protect you to a certain degree as well. But actually, one thing that I have found that when I'm wearing this mask, if I go out in public, people assume that I carry the virus, and they do practice more social distancing. So this is how these masks at least work quite well. Yeah. So that's about. I'm just gonna still put together a couple of little ones. I might just do a little quick time lapse for that. But other than that, just enjoy, have fun making masks, and stay safe. Remember to wash your hands. Alright, and like and subscribe. Bye!